First of all, when I'm entertaining, I'm actually having a couple of friends over tonight for a glass of wine, and one thing I buy like crazy are white votive candles. If you've been to my house before, for years, I have a ton of these, and they're super cheap. I stockpile those white votives, and even like during the hurricane, I bought even just the kind they're already made. But just putting those in the middle, like of the coffee table, and just lighting a bunch of them where you can see them, not off in a bathroom, scary, but will light your room differently, and you can use maybe a few less lamps or lamps on low, and that just creates the ambience of the room, which is a great party. I also like to buy cocktail napkins that are plain and solid because I do like a little pop of red, as you know. But whatever color you use in your house, because then they will last after Christmas. So all these patterns, all these things, holiday times a year, you buy them, they sit there, they just stock up in your drawers, and make good decisions by just buying a solid color. Oh, I love this thing. This marble, you can get them anywhere. This one's from Pottery Barn, but I love wine coolers like this. It's super heavy. I actually set it on my butcher block counter, so the wine ring doesn't wreck anything, but I put a little bottle of white here, put that in there on your table. You just chill it a little while in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna put it on my coffee table tonight, and just you open a couple bottles and it keeps it cool. It works well, and it looks good too. That is a fave. Speaking of butcher block, I like to serve my crackers, cheese, whatever. When I had my butcher block counters made, I just had them cut a couple sections of the actual butcher block, just even rough. It's just worn over time. But just butcher block is really inexpensive. I was at the store the other day and saw they're like anywhere from $10 to $24. They're not expensive. But instead of fancy plates, it's kind of that textured wood look that looks great in your any space, just like this, or even modern with just a little texture wood right there. It would look fantastic. You can put your bottles of wine on it. You can put your wine glasses. Speaking of wine glasses, unless you are entertaining like 8,000 people, use your glass. Use your glassware. I love to have an actual glass in my hand. It feels good. I know plastic and kids and all that, that's fine. But we're adults, use glass. It's festive, it's fun. So that's my one statement about, I like a glass. Plus they look all sparkly when they're all together, especially with that white little candle too. White candles, did I say white? I meant white candles. So that is that for the entertaining. Favorite things at my desk. I am very particular about my art supplies, but you could say your daily supplies, your, what you like. Buy yourself a special pen. I personally love, not for everyday writing, but I am a huge fan of the Sharpie pen for many reasons. A lot of times you can see I color and do stuff and it doesn't run, and that's why I like a Sharpie. My children know that I love, and this is a great stocking stuffer for your kids. If you have little kids that are drawing, I love the Dixon Ticonderoga pencil. There's nothing like it. Do not spend money on super expensive art supplies. If your kids are interested or you're interested, just use these. They smear well, they shade well. I love having a little click eraser. Couldn't find one of those. I'm looking actually for one of my family members. But I just love using just a grouping of pencils. Look. It just looks cool together. Plus I use them. I like them. Again, save money. You don't need to buy a bunch of expensive stuff. Which brings me to, this is a kid thing, but I use this every single day. I use a red Crayola. This is one of my favorite things. Not kidding. I mark off lists with this red thing. I know, it's a thing. But that comes from the package of just the classic Crayola markers, not the waterproof. I know don't yell at me for saying not waterproof, but they're not as vivid. I love that set right here. Black is missing. In the box, I throw away the boxes. So, but I keep these for my age people. I just like to have bright, vivid markers. I am horrified at times to see what kids are interested in art, and the parent pulls out the art box and it's just crappy markers. Some of the lids are gone. I'm like, go through, if your kids are interested in art, I'm gonna get really excited about this. If your kids are interested in art, make sure their art supplies are good. Because faded markers do nothing. Garbage, garbage. Not Goodwill, garbage. Put them in the garbage. Okay. Which brings me to, and this is regular people besides little people. One of my favorite things for sure is buy good paper. Good paper is huge to draw on. You don't need these expensive art pads. Yeah, you do if you're doing watercolors and stuff like that. But for day-to-day drawing, and especially for markers, especially what I just said about markers, 28 pound, the brightest white, you can sometimes get 100, but normally it's like 97 brightness, just, you'll see what I mean. The big stack of papers like you get in an office place. That's where I buy mine. I put mine even in the printer. Life is too short for crappy paper, just saying. But especially with art supplies, and if your kid is interested in drawing, have them create on white paper, blank canvas. My mother always said I didn't believe in coloring books when my kids were little. I don't totally believe that, but I could have said that, I'm not sure. But create, let them create, but with good stuff. It doesn't have to be expensive. Having said all that, wrapping their little gifts, you can do whatever you want with wrapping paper, but another money saver is I buy this all year long. I mean, it lasts a while, but I just buy white ribbon. You know, these sets of bows and things and whatever. People are spending so much money and you don't have to. And it looks better and more creative. So that will last me even through birthdays and things like that because I just have one color. Pick whatever color you want. I'm a white fan and you know it. And lastly, a little shortcut. These are just from Target. I do like the stickers. I think the stickers are great, and that's where your Sharpies come into play. I keep a lot of these Sharpies on hand. It's clear. You can actually read it, and people can see who it's from. And even though if Santa did it, too, also. So that is it. Those are my favorite things. I've got a lot more, I'm sure. I know this is a longer video, but it is fun to talk about these things that will also maybe help you in your Christmas shopping or stocking stuffing.